Why teachers need side hustles? Let's talk about that. So, if you're a teacher and you've ever thought to yourself, I shouldn't need to have a side hustle, you're absolutely right. But the majority of teachers do have some sort of extra income that they pull in because unfortunately, the majority of teaching jobs just don't pay that well. Um, but it's not about a hustle culture. It's about finding ways to support yourself and, pay the bills and take off some of that stress that comes with feeling strapped for cash. So the reality is it's expensive, to live, depending on which country you're in, your cost of living or which part of the country you're in, for example, with the United States, that really impacts your cost of living. And for most of us, that cost of living is not getting adequately compensated by a salary increase, right? So we have to get creative and to not think about it as a personal failure. It's just the way things are, and we are creative and smart and driven, and we can figure out a solution to this. It can feel pretty unfair, honestly, to have to feel like you have to uh, find a way to supplement yourself, your income, um, because teaching is such a labor intensive profession, both, hours wise, as well as energy wise, as well as emotionally. There's just so much that is asked of you every day. And it's hard to think about doing anything extra on top of that. Sometimes it can also, add to the sense of burnout that a lot of teachers experience, feeling like you have to work even harder to make ends meet and even feeling guilty about needing more money, even though it has absolutely nothing to do with you. So, what happens if nothing changes? In this case, what happens if teachers don't start side hustles? Sometimes that sense of burnout can get even harder to manage, and leave us with even more of a feeling that, this is not sustainable, right? As a profession, you probably won't have much of a cushion if, God forbid, there's some sort of a medical emergency or other kind of emergency that you need to deal with, either for you or your family. Um, you might start thinking more and more about like a career change. And, long term, you might just end up feeling kind of like stuck and depressed. I mean, we need to find some ways to help ourselves to not feel so down. But when you find the right side hustle, getting that extra income, it gives you that margin for emergencies, but it also gives you money for some other important things like therapy for your mental health, or other fun things like just being able to rest, or go out and have fun with your friends or family every once in a while. You might be able to find a creative outlet that energizes you, um, and, helps you build your self-esteem and confidence, especially if it's something that, you enjoy and that it's pulling in cash, like that's win-win, right? It might also end up having you start to think about like a long-term exit plan from teaching. Dabbling in different side hustles can kind of get you thinking about that. And with that, to give you more of a sense of choice and agency, and to remind yourself that you have some control. Um, I know that like when I was teaching, um, there's so many teachers, including myself, felt like that's all we could do because that's our training had been so much about, teaching and um but we forget, I forgot, and you probably don't realize necessarily or have forgotten how many amazing transferable skills you have. And while it is true that, for some career switches, kind of getting off on a tangent here, but for some things you definitely would need to get retrained for. But for a lot of the soft skills, um, you've you've got those down already. So anyway, so to reframe any negative thoughts or emotions you might be having about, you know, needing a side hustle, so to speak. I mean, you're not um you're not money hungry or greedy for wanting more. It's just the reality of the current state of affairs is that most of us need more than one job to kind of make it. And so, you know, teachers are resourceful and creative and intelligent and just amazing people. And so use those resourceful ideas and experiences to help yourself, right? And with that, you're not failing at teaching. Um, you are building something that can protect you in your future going forward. And it's okay to want more. It's okay to be angry at the system that, we're having to live paycheck to paycheck. Like that's not right. Um, and unfortunately that's the way it is for now. So we need to find these other avenues to help take some of that stress off. And it's okay to be thinking about, wanting more like emotionally and professionally as well. But for right now, we're just talking about these ideas of ways to pull in a little bit more income. And if you are feeling like you don't know where to start and your energy might fluctuate, throughout the week or the month, um, I've built something for you, which is a side hustle starter map for teachers. And it's built for burned out teachers who want ways to make extra money without burning themselves out even further. So it'll walk you through some questions to think about around your energy and your timeline of like how fast do you need cash, that kind of thing. And so by the end of going through those questions, you'll kind of have a better idea of like which general direction you might want to look at for side hustles. Of course, everyone is different and, so please take whatever works for you and feel free to bend it to suit you and your needs, your circumstances. Um, but you are allowed to protect your energy and build some extra cash on the side. And it doesn't make you any less of a teacher or a person. All right. Well, I hope you found that helpful and download the starter map. And I hope to talk to you soon. All right. Take care. Bye.